Hey everybody, this is Mr. Horton with a series of video backup lessons for Studio Art 1, Studio Art 2, and film appreciation and cinematography. Verni Arts, Iona Prep. Alright, so we're talking about dynamic wireframes. So these are like the hardest ones you can do. These are the wireframes that are in movement. Okay, so for this one, we are going to pick something akin to drawing Spider-Man, right? So again, I'm going to start out by getting in my rough, like stick figure drawing. I'm going to get in the width of the torso, which is going to be at a diagonal. I'm going to get the direction of the torso, which is at a curve. I'm going to get in the width of the pelvis about... I'm going to put in the length of the arm and kind of a loose hand drawing. I'm going to do the thigh, the knee, into the ankle and foot. And then the other way, I'm going to go this way, knee, back, and foot. Right? And then finally, I'm going to get a loose example of where the head would be. So I got this drawing. It's kind of like I got an arm touching here and yada yada. So I'm going to start to work this out with the wireframe. Again, this is kind of like the apex of complexity here. So there's the face. There's the upper torso. The waist. Into femur, knee, ankle, foot, remember to erase a lot as you go. Get a little bit of a hint of a butt. Okay, I'm going to get in the shoulder, the bicep, the wrist, the hand. I'm going to start to maybe edge out some of the fingers. And I'm going to erase some of this. I'm going to get a hint of another shoulder. Right there. I'll put a wrist right here. I'm going to put a fist back over here. So now I got start to see it. I'm going to knock back the knee because it's too big. I'm going to give it a little bit more weight to the thigh. I'm going to put in a hint of a wall back here because he's sticking to a wall. Remember, you're not using a Sharpie to refine at this point, but I am because it makes this a little bit easier to see. So I'm going to put in Spider-Man's eyes on the cross. And his face right there. Start just to edge out his body structure. You really indicate those shoulder lines. Okay, so I have that up there. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a little bit more detail here. I'm going to give him a little bit more of his suit. Okay, let's give him a big old spider at the middle. Nothing crazy. I'm going to erase. You'll notice here I'm outlining more lines on the wall to define that, as well as getting a ballpoint pen and doing the webbing on Spider-Man. Now, after I ink this whole thing, then I will go in and I would color this. I'm not going to do it in the video here, but I can color it if I wanted to. And again, your process of A to B to C in finishing a picture is always up in the air. You can kind of do it any way you want, but I recommend avoiding the ink unless you are confident in using it. And there you kind of have Spider-Man. Dynamic movement. Not easy. Okay, we are talking about what do you do if the picture you're drawing cannot easily be adapted via the wireframe. So, an example of this. Say, for example, you wanted to draw Roger from American Dad. Now, the structure of what I have shown you would not work. If you try to do a human-style head and the framework here, I mean, it would look a little bit like it, almost like a person cosplaying as Roger, but for the most part, it wouldn't work. So, how do you adapt the wireframe to something that looks, excuse my pun, looks alien, okay? So, I'm going to put out my paper here. I'm going to put my paper vertical, all right? Now, I'm going to start out with the giant bulb for Roger's head. I'm just going to kind of do a loose oval. All right, then I'm going to do two diagonal lines that are going to kind of constitute these areas. I'm going to close that off. All right, I'm going to do maybe a little square. So right now I'm basically in the chest. I'm going to do a circle for the stomach. I'm going to do a circle and a circle for the upper parts of the legs, okay? And then I'm going to do feet and feet as these curved ovals, all right? I'm going to kind of avoid the arms for a second until I get some more of the detail in. All right, so now I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to try as best I can to just get some degree of the lines in. I'm going to put in the eyes. I'm going to put in the mouth placement. And get a tongue right there. Curve that. I'm going to curve these. You're going to notice I'm doing just a lot of like over lines and yada yada. And Roger's got these like Rick and Morty looking eyes. Looking a little stiff. I might curve it a little bit going around. Okay, I might curve it coming down to his stomach and curve it going around the foot. And curve it going this way. You get a sense of it. Now the arms. I'm not going to do anything nuts here. I'm just going to do two things going this way. I'm going to do two things going this way. I'm going to put a hand in. I'm going to put in a thing that looks like this. And again, I'm just going to edge these out. Okay, so at this point, I would just go through and I would clean up the Roger and move some stuff around. But basically, for the most part, you can see how I got from point A to point B with the wireframe. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is, the point of this is, the shapes I'm giving you in the human wireframe, okay, they're not set in stone. So if you want to do your figure only with circles, only with squares, only with triangles, if it works, do it, okay? If the shape of the guy's face you're doing is like a diamond shape, do it, okay? There's no set shapes to use. You're just kind of using whatever shapes you can use to get it to look something close to what you're supposed to be drawing so you can get closer to the thing. Now, again, is this perfect? No. I think I have a little bit too much distance between the eyes. I think this is a little bit too stretched out. I think in general he's too tall and too thin, okay? But besides that, it gets me most of the way towards the drawing, so then I can erase and clean this up, and it looks more like the thing than if I were to just copy this one-to-one, okay? All right, next thing I'm going to show you guys the actual project grade for this, which is how to draw a person. If you have any questions about the assignment, email me or refer to the project on Google Classroom. See you in class.